What's going on, YouTube? Aura Storm here, coming at you guys with another discussion topic today. Today we're going to be talking about the Wing Raiders set list. So now today why we're talking about this is that the set comes out actually tomorrow. So I thought, like I said, I was going to make sure I went over the set list with you guys. Obviously, other YouTubers have already covered this set. So I wanted to make sure you guys actually got a hold of the set and saw how it went. So anyway, so the first thing is it's a 60 card set, so it's a smaller set like High Speed Riders. So there's not as many cards, so that's can be a good and bad thing. On the good hand, it could be quite a little bit. There's a less of a card pool, so it is easier to pull some cards. But on the other hand, that means that with less cards, there might not be as many money cards, especially with the lack of reprints, good reprints in the set. But we'll get to that later. So first off, we're going to talk about the Phantom Knight main deck monsters. 3 of them are holos, 2 are supers, 1 is an ultra. Ancient Cloak is the ultra rare. Not a surprise, when it's banished from the graveyard, it searches. Typically, Konami rarity bumps cards that search. You know, it's just or are very key to a deck strategy that you know you're going to play at 3. So, not surprised this card is an ultra rare, and it has pretty badass art if I do say so myself. Fragile Armor is kind of a little iffy on that one being a super, but because I don't play a lot in my version, but other people do. I believe Ragged Gloves is a common and Cloven Helm is a rare. So like you're getting a pretty varied amount of rarities on these Phantom Knight cards. And these are fan favorite decks. Like people like Yugioh, even though it doesn't seem a lot of screen time, Yugioh's a fan favorite character, and you're getting a lot of pretty decent variety of rarities. Breaksword is a secret rare. Should not surprise anyone. I mean, I think most of us saw this card being a secret rare, you know, just using common sense. It's a boss monster. It's one of the deck's best key cards. You play 3, Konami's going to rarity bump it. Dark Rebellion, as far as the other extra deck monster, Dark Rebellion Exceed Dragon that we see Yugioh bring out, it is a rare, but the thing is, Dark Rebellion is a very cheap card across the board. From the Platinum Rare rarity, which is about a couple dollars, to the Ghost Rare that goes for about 10. Rebellion didn't. I understand why it's reprinted. It's on the cover. It's a cover card for the set, but there's a really big amount of rarities for Dark Rebellion and Prince, but I feel like we're going through these stages where we're going to get all the boss monsters. I feel like at some point Clearwing will have like this many reprints in the future, because I think we're going to go from Odd Eyes to now Dark Rebellion, and then the next card that's going to get a bunch of prints will probably be Clearwing, and eventually whenever we get Yuri's deck, eventually his dragon's going to get a bunch of prints. So there we go. So Dark Rebellion's a rare. For the trap card, for the spells and traps, Spear's a rare. Spear's not an entirely necessary card. I don't like it. I don't play it, but it's a rare. Fogblade is an ultra rare. If you don't know what this card is, it's basically like kind of a New Age Fiendish Chain. Except you can't attack the monster, and the monster cannot be targeted for an attack while it's targeted with this. So I like one of the things that Konami does a lot is they print cards that basically do the same thing. Like this card does what Fiendish Chain does, but it has enough differences to where you might play this over. And on top of that, it has a graveyard effect that allows you to revive Phantom Knight monsters, but they get banished and leave the field, much like Sword also has. So it's a really key card in the deck, and I'm not surprised it's an ultra rare. Sword is like the damage modifying one that protects you. It's pretty key to the deck strategy. It's a rare, and Wing is a common. I don't play Wing, and as well as Shadow Veil are commons. If you don't have dozens of Shadow Veils, I forget which set it was in. I think it was in Primal Origin. You can get them now. And of course, Booby Trappy. This is one of the hyped cards from the set that allows you to reuse a continuous trap cards by discarding a card. You can set a continuous trap from your hand or graveyard, but it is and it can be activated during that turn. So it's really key in the deck, along with cards like Magic Planner. If you're running Magic Planner, this card kind of fits like a glove because it makes sure they're not dead. So I'm not surprised. Now it's for the Raid Raptors. This is probably what a lot of you guys have been waiting for. For ages, you've been waiting for Force Tricks, Tribute Lanius, and a lot of these other cards. I preface this by saying that the really good stuff is in Shining Victories. I don't think we're getting Pain Lanius and a few other cards. We're not getting Pain Lanius, which is like really good key card in some builds I've seen. We're not getting, I can't remember, Avenge Vulture is the one that when you take damage, it special summons. We're not getting those. We're also not getting Skip Force and Ultimate Falcon, or Zapdos, if you will. We're not getting that yet, so you kind of have to hold your hype for a few more months. But we are getting some of the deck is going to be playable, and viable, which is good. So without that out of the way, Necro Vulture is the new card. When it tributes itself, you can tribute it from the field, or like a one Raid Raptor to add a rank up card, but you can only use rank up cards during that turn. So it really helps because we use a lot of your key rank up cards in this set. Or rank up cards, so that's pretty good. Lazarus is also in this set, but this card it's a common, which is good, and this one's a super, obviously, but Lazarus is a common, which is good, but at the same time, it's not as relevant now because we don't have Skip Force yet and Ultimate Falcon, so bit meh. A lot of the commons, if you don't already have the common monsters, most of them are in this set, and that's good. And then Tribute Lania is the card we've all been waiting for. It's like the Mathematician of the deck. It's like playing Shaddolls without Mathematician or Armageddon Knight. This card just pretty much does the same thing when it's normal special summon for Raid Raptors. And it's an ultra rare, not a surprise. You know, it's a key card you're going to play at 3, and it's an 1800 body. Konami's going to rarity bump it. And for the XYZ's Revolution Falcon, if you don't already have them, is in this set. I don't see Blaze Falcon here, but Blaze Falcon was printed as a common, and I forget which set. I think it's either Cross Souls or Secrets of Eternity, so it's easy to get your hands on at least. I also don't see Rise Falcon here, but typically you only play one Rise Falcon, so not a big deal. But Force Strix and Satellite Cannon Falcon, two of the most wanted cards in this set, are secret rares. Force Strix is not a surprise because much like with Breaksword, you play 3. And me personally, I don't want to get my hands on one because I'm going to be playing a copy in my Blackwing deck. Really good card. Being able to search level 4 Darkwing Beast. It's like there's games where I'll make this card like 4 or 5 times by reusing it with Nest. So Satellite Cannon Falcon, when it's summoned by effect of a rank up or was summoned with a Raid Raptor monster's material, you basically just Harpy Feather Dusters your opponent's board, and it can reduce attack, which is insane. Like, it's just such a good effect. As far as the other cards, Raid Raptor Call and Nestor in this set, I don't really remember a lot of the other spells I played outside of maybe Swallow's Nest and the rank up cards, but they're in this set if you do not currently have them. Call or Nest is in this set. Call is like they're basically like a searchable Swallow's Nest basically. Like if you have one Raid Raptor name, you activate Call, grab one from the deck basically that has the same name. It's really key, but you can only activate it once per turn. Really key card. As far as the new rank up cards, we're getting Doom Double Force and Soul Shave Force. Doom Double Force is like Raptor's Force, except it's only when your monster is destroyed by battle. So when it goes off, it's amazing because your opponent will set a bunch of back row and just be like, nope, get that out of here. But at the same time, your opponent has to destroy it by battle. So most smart players, if you only set a few cards, they're going to Twin Twister you and you're going to cry. So one of the things that's kind of sucks about this card. Soul Shave Force is kind of like a hero lives for Raid Raptor Exceeds. You can activate it, pay half your life, special summon one Raid Raptor, then rank it up to 2 ranks higher. It's generic, so you can make Infinity, which is a lot of the reason why people even play this card. It's really good mid to late game, and some of the builds I've seen. In my opinion, I'd run 2 to 3 depending on where you're at, but depends on if you like those types of cards. Raid Raptor Readiness is also getting reprinted as a common. I think it was Clash, or I don't remember the set this card. I think it was in Secrets of Eternity, but it's a pretty easy card to get your hands on. So, the card I don't see in this set is Raid Raptor Return, but Return never really saw a lot of play. I also don't see Raptor's Guest, which is the counter trap, but I have like 4 or 5 of them sitting in my tin, so it's not much of a problem. Now for the Super Quantums, which a lot of you guys have been wanting to get your hands on as well, the Power Ranger theme archetyped. Basically, I'll just call them pilots and ships because I think of it like Cosmos. The pilots, which are the little ones that make the Exceeds, are basically match their big one's rarity. So, like, red layer is like the level 5. It's the red one is a secret ultra rare. The green layer and the green one is a super, and then the blue and the blue Exceed is a rare, and then Alphan is a common. Alphan's pretty key because you contribute it to it's grab 3 from the deck, the other 2 go to grave, and 1 gets special summon. It's really key because it sets up a lot of your initial combo plays, and so yeah, a lot of people were kind of disappointed that red layer is a ultra rare, but the good thing is for you guys wanting it in Monarchs, blue layer is a rare, but E-Telly is also a $20 card right now, so I'd say just wait it out. E-Telly will eventually drop. Of course, Great Magnus is a secret rare. It's it's the boss monster, not a surprise. The field spell that you use to summon him is a rare, which is cool because you can also recycle it with the grave effect of blue layer. And Magnus Layer is a common, which is you only play 1 anyways. Now we're kind of getting to the reprints. Crane, not a big fan of this reprint. I feel like after the original Premium Gold, most of us had like a dozen of these, and I feel like it was not even necessary to be reprinted. Like it's been we can get a hold of Cranes. Harpy's Harpist, a lot of early Raid Raptor builds did run this card. I don't find it necessary now, but I guess it's nice if you decide you want to play it. It was a super rare on Cross Souls, went for about $5. Yeah, so like it's not that expensive. Gemini Pearl is a common, kind of a weird one. It's been added, outside of Infernoids, it's seen very little play for ages. Cowboy, I think it's about a $5 to $8 card, so whatever. Zubaba General, another random reprint. The card never really saw a lot of play outside of some OTK decks. Master Key Beetle is a common. I think it was like a $2 card. You're kind of getting a theme here. Alucard and Arc were about $10 cards. I don't really think they need to be reprinted. Particularly Alucard is really easy to get your hands on. Karen Gorgon was like a $5 card. Amatoratsu's never been really that expensive. The good news is, though, for you European players, you are getting Diamond Crab King, which does help to ease the sting of not receiving Toga the Lightning. Help with that, at least. Now, it is a secret rare, so it's going to be a little bit harder to get your hands on, but with the new ratios, I do think Crab King will be fairly easy to get your hands on. Now, some of the other reprints. MST, Rhoda, and Chalice. MST gets reprinted. It got reprinted High Speed Riders, but it's kind of like in these sets, it gets a reprint every time. Rhoda, I guess if you didn't have your copy for Monarchs, now you have it. Chalice, it's been seeing a little bit more competitive play lately, so I guess it kind of makes sense. Swallow's Nest is a good one because it's been out of print for quite some time, since Raging Battle. That set came out, I don't know what year, but it was in the 5Ds era, and it was Power Tool Dragon was on the cover, I believe. And it was about a $10 card, so I guess if you can't find it, it's not the easiest card to find either, but now you can get one. Astral Force is a common. It's like a $2 card, even in the highest rarities, so I don't really see why, but it is a card that does see play in Raid Raptors with Skip Force not coming out yet for a while. Bottomless and Call the Haunted, not a surprise, kind of self-explanatory. Icarus Attack, Needleborn Nest, and XYZ Reborn are some interesting ones. Icarus Attack hasn't been printed in a super since, I believe, Champion Pack, one of the Champion Packs, and Dark Revelation 4. So if you want a super rare Icarus, you're going to pay minimum $30 or more. So it's nice to see it as a super print, although gold rare prints go for about $4. So it's not like the biggest reprint, but it hasn't been in a super in quite some time. Needlebug Nest, I believe, came out in a Duelist Genesis, and it's one of those common cards that kind of fluctuates a lot because of that. But it's kind of there are some builds of Phantom Knights that do play it, and it's pretty nice. Exceed Reborn, it was kind of like another, it's much like Needlebug Nest. It was a secret rare, I believe, in Order of Chaos, and now it's a super rare, so you can actually get your hands on one for relatively cheap now, instead of having to pay like upwards of $10 to $20. It has been a ridiculously high in the past. So anyway, guys, as always, I'd like to thank you guys for watching the video today. Stay tuned later today for my Raid Raptor deck profile. Will be going up later today. It won't be using, of course, the Shiv support, which I'm going to probably put that on the Facebook page later this week. And Super Quantums are coming tomorrow, guys. So anyway, guys, as always, I'd like to thank you guys for watching. This is Orstorm, signing out.